Coast AM with Art Bell from the Kingdom of Nye.
It is indeed my guest, Dr. Jonathan Reed, Robert Race, and Dr. Harold Strong, a microbiologist. And once again, so that you know, reading from what was sent to me, Dr. Chacon is a degreed microbiologist, graduating with honors from Catholic University of Puerto Rico with a DS Master's Program certificate in the field of microbiology, biomedical research in cell immunology, biochemistry, and zoology, currently studying and residing here in the U.S. And I'm not going to run my commercial break now. We're going to go directly back to our guest. And Doctor, if you would continue, please. The tissue sample, you said, was not, had similarities to, but was in fact not human.
Not human. Okay, it was about 3 millimeters in thickness, very, very fibrous consistency, and the surface was kind of light grayish brown.
Really?
Extremely transparent, much more transparent than human skin, much more.
Okay.
There was no signs of any hair or hair follicles within the surface of the cell structure.
Right.
Absolutely no signs of it. We found some subcutaneous tissue, that's the one that is under the surface, and that one has some sebaceous-like glands. Those are the glands that produce usually fat, but half as many as we found in a human skin.
Half as many.
Half as many.
All right. Are any of these findings consistent with any other living mammals on Earth that you know? No?
No. Probably the one that could be most related, probably in some ways, not completely, could be the reptile.
Reptilian.
But not completely.
But enough difference, so it definitely was not earthly reptilian.
No, it's not an earthly reptile.
So you're telling me this is tissue from a creature from other than Earth?
From, I don't know, because this is a tissue sample from nothing that we have any data collected on Earth.
All right. You also received a blood sample, or what we are calling blood.
What we used to call, yeah, exactly, blood. Besides that skin tissue sample, we have another muscle sample too.
A muscle
sample? It was, attached to it. The muscle, it's connected to this layer of skin, which resembles, this muscle resembles what is called the occipital frontalis muscle. In humans, it's called tissue. It resembles, but it was kind of yellowish pink in color. In humans, it's usually red. This one didn't have that red color. In closer examination, there was another smaller, fine muscle that was intersecting this occipital muscle, resembling what is called the temporal fascia muscle. In the human, the two are connected, and it was connected by tendinous and fatty fibrous tissue. That was similar to human, completely.
Well, I just want to be very clear for the audience that what we are describing here, the tissue, even the muscle sample, is close to in some respects, but different enough to be called absolutely non-human.
Oh yeah, completely.
Completely. All right.
Human.
All right. Now, on to the blood, or what we call the blood.
Okay, there's a sample that we call, at that time, we call it the blood. This was really interesting. The sample was dried. When you put it to the freezing, you put it into contact with really low temperatures. Usually liquid tissue, because blood is considered a liquid tissue.
Right.
They get really dry, and we have to rehydrate that tissue again. We rehydrate the tissue with saline solution, and at that time we're gonna be able to study the cells and if they're different. The general findings when we tested it reveal a level of oxygen and carbon dioxide and nitrogen-based gases, but with a slight difference. In this case, there was a high copper sulfate traces.
Copper sulfate?
Yeah, copper sulfate, really high traces of that.
Copper sulfate?
Yeah. The copper sulfate traces, there were white and red-black corpuscles, what they call corpuscles, with elongated nucleus.
God, I want to stop you for just a second and remind my audience that in a recent significant interview we did on animal mutilations, they found missing from the cows what? Copper. The copper content, I think in the liver, if I'm remembering correctly, was almost entirely missing. And it just keyed when you said that to me. Fascinating. So, anyway, continue, please.
Okay, when we keep sampling and testing it, we look for chromosomes because we're actually working with red blood cells.
Yes.
And we're looking for more specific proofs and findings. And when we did the chromosome study, it revealed that the red blood cells, or what we could be resembling red blood cells, they have a chromosome count of 46, exactly as human.
Okay.
This is very human. We have 46 chromosomes too. But what is really, really, really astonishing is that 9 of those 46 chromosomes are not human.
9 are not human?
9 are not human, but they're only found in dolphins and some aquatic sea tortoises.
But these 9 chromosomes are found in dolphins and some aquatic sea tortoises?
Yes. This is the only data that we have that resemble this type of chromosome that we found in this blood.
Is there any way that you can imagine that any creature that we know of could carry such a chromosome structure?
No, that is unique. We checked catalogs in many universities, and we went through a lot of data and trying to find some relationships between these scientific findings with any animal that we know, that science actually knows in our planet, and we couldn't find any way to fit it.
Welcome back to the Storyist. On October 15th, 1996, Dr. Jonathan Reed claims that his dog went missing. Reed then went out into the woods near his home to see if he could find the dog. When he went into the woods, he found a floating UFO in the shape of a spike. Reed then went back inside to get his video camera and began filming the incident. He then saw the alien grab his dog by both jaws, literally snapping them apart. As a result, the dog turned to white ash instantly, but this was never recorded on film. In retaliation, Reed then took a tree branch and threw it at the alien, fatally injuring it. Reed then brought the alien inside and tried to take a nap, but found himself unable to due to the tension of the incident. Reed decided to do an autopsy of the alien and filmed the alleged examination. Later he claimed mysterious white vans arrived at his home and took the alien and most of his evidence. The footage contained in this video are very rare, and I hope you watch it to the end. I invite all of you to subscribe for more historical aerial phenomena documentaries.
Come on, work. Stop. Come on, work. Come on. Please.
Doctor, when did you hear that scream?
Well, after a few hours had gone by and I had called Gary back, and he had calmed me down from crawling practically around the ceiling, we both went out to look again. And I figured, we went out and looked. We did the same thing. I opened the freezer so that I could know that I was not imagining this. And the same thing happened. And when the freezer was opened, this thing let out a scream like I have never heard before. It literally, the force of the sound made you feel like something was pushing against your chest.
The air around it as it screams actually bubbles and moves.
It felt like the air was moving.
God.
And at that time, it was just, open and closed. And later on, I felt like I had to try to document this.
Of course.
So I took my camera and I took the recorder and I turned it on and I again opened the freezer, and that's when I recorded this sound.
Would you play the sound for us once again, please?
Yes, I will. Hold on.
Okay. Here it comes. Oh, my God, that's awful. Oh, my God, that's awful. How did you stay dry?
I didn't.
The alien in his footage is remarkable by itself, but this story is only quite literally barely getting started. He also found a device near the alien's body the day of this incident took place when packing it in the thermal blanket. He called it the Link device. This artifact has been presented to the Mexican government and was displayed on a Mexican talk show. The footage you're about to watch is extremely rare and has been dubbed as it was originally in Spanish. The footage after this presentation is not like any other I myself have seen before.
You know that very special protection has been needed, which I want to thank really the Attorney General's office, because they have supported us in all this in a very discreet, very cordial, very kind way, because this belongs to humanity.
Let's turn it around. I wouldn't even want to touch it, take it out. We remove the briefcase.
As you can see, it's in a special container. This container is designed to protect this type of artifact. This is an airtight container to protect it from environmental conditions and prevent certain fungi from accumulating on the bracelet. Because that is what usually happens in any other type of environment.
I imagine it has an alarm. Yes.
Yes, they have it. This has a special control. So if, for example, someone tries to open it, the alarm will go off. Or, for example, if the container breaks, the alarm will also be activated.
This case was made especially for this. It has nitrogen inside.
Doctor, when you hit this being, Freddy, in that contact, in that fight you saw with your dog, it tells us in the story that it fell with a great blow and that its brain mass was even exposed. Was this bracelet on, or Where was it at the moment this being fell?
Honestly, Teite, at that moment, I don't remember if he was wearing it on his wrist, or when Susie was grabbing his arm, or if Susie tore it off. Once I hit him, and he fell to the ground, I found it, but then it was in some bushes, 10 feet from where the body was. I guess it fell off during the struggle with my dog or when I hit him.
Doctor, did you see this? And I want to imagine that maybe it could have been a part of the ship, because we didn't touch on that topic. A kind of ship was seen, the obelisk as they call it. But when you put it in the bag, took it along with Freddy to your house, and then opened this thermal bag, did you know it was for the arm? Or where did you try it first? How did you realize it had to go on some part of the arm? I don't know. Well, I don't have all those answers. The only thing I know, the thing is, when Gary and I analyzed Freddy's body before he revived, I put it on his arm. And when I put it on his arm, it closed automatically. It closed on his arm and it turned black, just like the suit Freddy put on you. And when I put it on, it closed on my arm and freezes, as if it were glass frozen by ice. In my case, it did not turn black. I believe it is very important for everyone to understand that there is a legacy in this artifact, and that legacy, which is positive because we are sharing it with the Mexicans, is also a goal for us.
But in reality, it is bathed in blood, because very good people have suffered and died for this. So hear the world, you can now see this wonderful object. This object that does not belong to us, but belongs to something which is much more intelligent than us. This is a very big responsibility we have in our hands, not only for Jaime Maussan or for Dr. Reed or for my colleagues, but it's a responsibility for the whole world. And we have to face it. And for me, it is very difficult to put it in terms, let's say. I am very happy to be here. I have witnessed what happened to Gary, what happened to him, and when died. At that point, Gary had to be taken to a special place, which I will tell you. He went with special friends, and I saw how this bracelet was used. And I saw how Jonathan made contact with these beings, and I saw and was present when he used it. But I would like to thank all the audience and all Mexicans for supporting us and for being our friends. This is not the end.
It's just the beginning. Yeah, I mean, this research will continue. If tonight Dr. Jonathan has decided not to use it because maybe it's not the right time, he has told me that when this happens, when we have the evidence, the video, or can do the live presentation, or you can be there. It will be done here, it will be done in Mexico. He has decided
with you
that this is in this country because of kindness, for gratitude, because he only wanted to be heard. No one listened to him. I had the honor, I had the opportunity to approach him and listen to the story and gradually confirm it. For me, Adal, it is extremely important. After 17 years of being involved in this investigation, finally, I can bring the evidence and I can bring the result of so many years of work. And therefore to say or think that I have fulfilled what I set out to do 10 years ago, not only because of the research in Mexico and about the volcanoes and all the cases you have seen, but because I have managed to bring to my country the most important that no one else has accomplished for any other place in the world. And this is for me a source of deep pride that I also share with you.
Thank you, Jaime. Before ending this segment, I have two more questions. I can see some small needles. And in the background, as if they were emeralds or some kind of precious stone. What is this? I don't know if it's visible, but there are some needles here inside. What was happening then? When you saw that Dr. Jonathan Reed put this on in the story that you are telling us, which I repeat, another role is the medium. They are telling their experience. You will decide at home where will the conversation, the talk tonight lead. If you will remain a skeptic, or if as a result of this you will become interested in the UFO phenomenon.
It's okay to be skeptical.
This case is being presented.
What we want here is not to convince anyone. It's not about coming and if you don't want to believe, don't. Just open your mind, learn about this case. I must tell you that I will be with Dr. Jonathan Reed this Sunday at the Metropolitan Theater. And afterwards, I will bring all this information to all of Mexico, Guadalajara, Monterrey. Again, I will be in Tijuana and other places, so that everyone can convince themselves. Well, or if they are not convinced, at least they have the elements and decide for themselves. Don't let others tell you, right? Because suddenly they attack me so baselessly, saying, everything Marsan says is a lie. Well, if I take the time and trouble to research, to go and check and present things, then at least they should do it in the same way. I am also willing to learn, and if someone proves that what we are presenting is not true, then I am also willing to accept it, and I have the enormous commitment, Adele, that if this is not truth, I will be the first to come to you and say, I found that the case was not true, even if this costs me my credibility, even if it's bad for me. I mean, we have to be extraordinarily honest about this. There's no need to go further. And that's why I'm telling you this is just beginning. It didn't end here tonight. And here on this program, you in Mexico will witness many things. He has kept many...
I leave all of you with one more clip. Once again, Dr. Reed was on another Mexican talk show, but this time it's to demonstrate the link device. I like you have no idea if what you're about to see is real, but taking into account the initial analysis from Art Bell speaking to Dr. Chacon on the aliens' tissue, blood, and muscle samples provided by Dr. Reed, along with the fact the talk show he's on now is live with an actual audience, represents an abundance of consistency. Especially when we also factor in he would have had to trick all the Mexican officials in the previous talk show as well. Dr. Reed's story will continue as there's more to be told. I hope to see you again.
I appreciate the opportunity to come on your program, and your invitation has given me and the people an opportunity to understand better the circumstances relating to my encounters and what has happened during my life. In 2001, I was invited by Jaime Maussan to come to Mexico and tell my story to the people of Mexico, and consequently to the world. Between the people of Mexico, Jaime Maussan, and Art Bell, I was able to tell my story to millions and millions of people who have been supportive over the years and have given me the strength to continue. Back then, I had hoped to be able to demonstrate the link bracelet or artifact in Mexico, but consequently, due to security issues, it was impossible at the time. And now that we live in a time of war and terrorism around the world, it's impossible to transport the link device anywhere across anyone's borders. So, as you have invited me here, I will take this opportunity to dedicate the possibility of using the artifact in public on live television in your live program today. And hopefully we can see if it will in fact function. Because sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a matter of them not allowing it to happen. It's a two-phase operation. It's not just up to me. It's up to them. They are the owners. They are the ones that decide if, in fact, it is going to function. I'd just like to say thank you to all of the people of Mexico and to all of the people all around the world who have done so much to help me personally and all of the other people who have had contact around the world. There are millions and millions of people who have supported me and thousands of other people who have had contact like myself that continues to this very day. Act, or bracelet, as many people refer to it, is something that I found in the forest next to the body when I found the Extraterrestrial 13 years ago. It's a small silver device that is worn on the wrist and is a factor of communication and teleportation between the wearer and his superiors. I have learned that I have been given a responsibility and an opportunity to care for this device. It is something that is very sacred, and it is one of several that has been held in safekeeping around the world for over 60 years. I have talked with many of the other people who have found these devices, and now we know and are learning what the responsibility and what some of the functions are of these devices. Truly, truly, a technology that is so far advanced from anything that humans have yet to even scratch the surface of. This is what so many people have tried to say doesn't exist, or simply is a figment of someone's imagination. It has symbols across the front of it. This is what I found in the forest in 1996 when I first encountered the creature, or the alien. I believe that it's some kind of bioelectric interface between the wearer of this device and the owners of it, that they actually activate it. It has 3 needles on the inside that actually penetrate your arm, the wearer of this, that I think creates a interface, biological interface, with the device and or the beings who use it. So my impression of it is that it's designed to keep control and communication between the extraterrestrial and their superiors. I believe it fits on your arm, the wearer's arm, like this. If you push down, the needles penetrate your skin, tissue, and into the nerves of your arm. There is some pain to it, but it quickly goes away. It becomes kind of a cold, almost a frozen type feeling. Very quickly that pain subsides. But if it functions, which sometimes it doesn't, it starts a throbbing inside your chest, literally a pulsation inside your chest that starts from the center and emanates to your extremities and becomes harder and harder. And then when that happens,
then it starts to be activated by there. Now I can feel it. I can feel it in my chest. It's painful, but if I hold my chest, it has a tendency to be less painful. And then they make the decision whether